Salvete omnes, this is Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and it's time for another Let's Play. We'll find out what game it is soon enough. Just gotta wait through a few startup screens. If you can't guess already. This game was rather infamous for its loading screens, which I actually remember because I first played it at a Ronald McDonald house in 2004 when my brother had to go in for surgery, and they didn't have a memory card, so we just had to leave the console on. But I do remember the loading times being really bad. Hopefully, whichever version this is will be better in that regard. Or emulating it will help with that.
Developed by Traveler's Tales.
But yes, this is
Crash Bandicoot, the Wrath of Cortex.
Yep, here it is. I've been wanting to play a decent Crash game ever since the new Crash 4 broke my heart, and I figured this would be a good option for it. So let's just start right in with the new game. As usual, my other username fits perfectly into 8 characters. If I could spell it right. Fail! Fail, I say. There we go. Loading time. On the Cortex Vortex. I thought we destroyed that thing. Maybe this is a new one. Like the Death Star. You still have the blueprints or something.
Imbeciles! Fools! Nincompoops!
Morons! Dunderpates! Duncebuckets!
According to this, your track record for spreading evil is pathetic. Ooka ooka, it's not our fault that Richard Bandicoot is to blame.
And also the fact that the good guys always win.
Stand in the way of evil, especially not a brainless orange marsupial.
Especially against self-aware villains.
Eliminated.
Ooka Ooka, need I remind you that Crash always finds a way to defeat us?
See, even Engine knows that.
Good for us.
Enough excuses! You 5 idiots need to come up with one good plan! Or else... How do I get into these situations?
There must be something we can come up with. Say, Doctor, haven't you been tinkering with some kind of new secret weapon in your laboratory?
I don't know what you're talking about, Entropy.
Dr. Cortex! I think he's referring to this super secret weapon you've been laboring over day and night since the last time Crash defeated you.
Enough bickering! Do we have a plan? Well, in my scientific endeavors, I've been able to create a genetically advanced super weapon of unbelievable strength. But the power source is the final missing crucial element. Elements. Yes, the elementals. Right, the elementals, that's it. If released, their destructive energy could create enough power to bring my secret weapon to life. We'd have a weapon capable of crushing mountains, demolishing entire cities, and wiping Crash Bandicoot off the face of the earth forever! Get ready to face my wrath, Crash Bandicoot!
He also says that quote when you continue from a game over. Meanwhile, back in the jet ski levels of Crash 3... Okay, how is Pura building a sandcastle without opposable thumbs? Appears to be a volcanic eruption.
It cannot be.
And a cloud.
Oh, no.
Not a cloud!
What's going on? Oh no! Crash! Look out!
And Crash lived up to his name.
Is everyone all right? It appears that my evil twin brother Uka Uka is up to his no-good tricks again. I must find out what he is planning. I'll meet up with you later.
Hello, my feeble brother.
You have gotten my attention, Uka Uka. What kind of diabolical scheme do you and Dr. Cortex have planned this time?
No schemes. Just some old familiar faces dropping by for a visit.
Actually curious who Aku Aku's voice actor is. He does a good job.
No, not the elementals. Uka Uka, why did you release them? Don't you know what happened the last time they were free?
So they were responsible for a few earthquakes, floods, and that little ice age a couple of centuries back. You worry too much, brother.
You cannot restrain them, Uka Uka. They are far too dangerous. This could spell disaster for us all.
On the contrary, Aku Aku. It spells disaster for you and that precious planet you care so much about. Destroy him!
I actually wonder if the 4 masks in the other Crash 4 were a reference to these 4.
Who's going to stop us?
I mean, different powers, obviously, but it is a group of 4 new masks who are only in one game so far.
Crash, Coco, it is just as I feared. Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex have freed a group of destructive masks known as the Elementals.
Hey, it could have been worse.
must
We could have had a
find way
chlorine
to
elemental
stop
and a
them
plutonium
before they
elemental.
destroy the Earth and all of its inhabitants. The only way to stop the Elementals' destructive nature is to imprison them with the use of ancient crystals. Each elemental can be returned back to their hibernation state with a total of 5 crystals. We must act quickly. Coco, what is the status of the new portal chamber you've been working on?
It's almost finished. A few little adjustments here and there, and it'll be ready to go.
Well done, Coco. This gives us the ideal opportunity to test it. We must hurry.
In other words, we're collecting power crystals again, and each elemental gets 1 warp room. But this time with gameplay justifications for different world themes.
Okay, all systems are ready and operational.
It's time we evened up the odds in our favor.
Alright, so we have our basic plot, we have our characters. Now we just need to get to some gameplay.
Crash Bandicoot, my old nemesis. How the heck are you? Still gathering crystals? Old habits
Oh,
die
not
hard,
yet.
don't they? My days are being spent on something much more intriguing. Meet Crunch, my newest creation.
This is the creature who keeps sabotaging your master plan? Ha! You gotta be kidding. I'll exterminate this field rat in no time.
Now, Crunch, your time with Crash will come soon enough. Isn't he brilliant? A testament to my true scientific genius. A real Bandicoot warrior. Unlike you, Crash.
Ah yes, your secret
well, we
super
already
weapon that
discussed.
was supposed to be
But
super
off and
powerful
out.
is a bigger Bandicoot! The horror. Okay, can we actually save in this? Yeah, whatever. So yeah, we have our new warp room, and as you can see, each one has an elemental theme. Well, sort of. The first one is obviously earth, the second one is water, the third one is fire, and the fourth one is supposed to be air, but it looks more like ice. And then the fifth one is kind of just science-y technology stuff. So, yeah. We'll head into level 1, Arctic Antics. Which incidentally could also be the name of the level in Donkey Kong Country.
What are you looking at, fuzzhead? I'm Rocco, the Earth Elemental.
Nice to meet you.
Uka Uka and Dr. Cortex woke me from my captive slumber, and now I'm free to pulverize whatever gets in my way. Oh, don't even think about collecting those crystals, Runt. Because if you do, I'm gonna bury you alive.
Birdie? Who pronounces that word like that? And now we honor the ancient Chinese Emperor Lo Ding. So, we can jump, we can spin, we can crouch, we can slide, cannot double jump yet, can ground pound, or body slam, I guess it is. So the usual Crash stuff. Whoops, meant to spin there and press the wrong button. Pfft, great start! Okay, clearly I'm a little bit rusty here when it comes to depth perception and all that. I think there's an Aku Aku in there. The TNTs and Nitros have a kind of straighter, less cartoony design in this game. Also, that's an awfully narrow path for level 1. Over here we have some of these. And some ice. With the janky physics that implies. Moving on. Seems like this level kind of feels a lot like, well, kind of like a combination of various ice levels from earlier Crash games. Like we have these icy spots and those big fish from Crash 2. I guess it feels kind of more like Crash 2 than anything else. Now that I think about it, did Crash 1, 3 even have ice levels? I could have sworn they did, but now that I'm actually thinking about it, maybe not. Also, those skiers are not much of a threat. Get away, you fool! $39 out of 147. So I think one thing I remember reading about Crash 4, OG Crash 4, that is this game, part of the reason the loading times were so bad was that unlike the first 3 games, they actually loaded the entire level into memory at once. The fact that they didn't do that with the first 3 games is part of how they could get away with as much as they did on the original PlayStation. Okay, sometimes those don't all blow up if you just step on one of them, so wanted to double check that. Aku Aku number 2. Should have been number 3, but I missed the one in the other slot box. I think that's what those are called, right? And now for by far the most challenging section of the level. Again, awfully early in the game for, yeah. That wasn't even an icy platform. If you want to make things much easier, you can come back here after you get the bazooka from beating the 4th boss. But it's not necessary. Just a heck of a lot easier. Go for the bonus. Got 25 boxes to get. Alright. Okay, I was afraid this was one of those bonuses where you actually have to wait to hit the exclamation mark crate. But no, easy enough. As a bonus room in level 1 ought to be. go ahead and hit this. And hit... Whoa! I almost slipped off. So, that platform there, that's a death route. And I thought it would be easy to reach it, but I died twice in the process. I will fully admit that level 1 is a strange place for a death route, to say the least, but I suppose it's not without merit, given the fact that, like I said, I died twice. We're almost through anyway. That was very late in the level for the power crystal to be. So, did this... Okay, we did get the gem. Good. So yeah. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do the death route, because why the heck not? We're here. And at least the levels in this game are much shorter than the ones in the new Crash 4, which makes getting to a certain point without dying a lot easier and a heck of a lot less frustrating. But then they screwed up a lot of things in the new Crash 4. You might be thinking, alright Martian, at this point, are you just going to spend this entire commentary talking about how much the new Crash 4 sucks? Nah, just the first episode. Seriously though. Excuse me. The new Crash 4 should have been great. It was the first traditional style Crash game in 17 years, or even 20 if you don't count Twinsanity, so it had some big shoes to fill. And it seems like about the only way the developers actually tried to fill them was by taking a big steaming dump in them. The game could have been so cool. They had the power of modern technology and graphics. They had some actually pretty neat ideas with the new mask powers and some of the world themes, and they squandered it all by making the difficulty completely unreasonable. Playing through the levels is tough enough. Completing them is frustration incarnate. It's not like I'm a stranger to difficulty. I mean, you've seen my other Let's Plays, presumably. I've played through so many Mega Man games, I've 100% completed all 5 Donkey Kong Country games, and even 100% completed Crash 2 and 3 on camera. Yet, Crash 4, well, I can't think of a game that I've ever played that I'd want to get 100% completion less than the new Crash 4. I'm not even sure if I want to finish the main story. As I said on my blog, I got halfway through, and then I decided that I just wasn't having that much fun. So, yeah, the bottom line is, I think I have the right to rag on that game. Like, when it leaves such a bad taste in my mouth that I honestly wish the series would just stay dead, that's not a good sign. Well, I can only hope that the developers won't do that thing that video game developers do sometimes, where a new game comes out, people don't like it, and they say, oh, I guess they don't want this series anymore, completely ignoring the actual quality of the new game that they released. I mean, somebody said that Sonic has screwed up a lot more times than Crash has, and is still doing okay, relatively speaking. I don't know what it is about that series. Maybe it went through enough different developers, or it was kind of a grandfather clause thing. Like, even if a new Mario game didn't do so well, I don't think they'd ever quit making Mario games. Or Pokemon. Just sad to see something that you love get ruined, I guess. And honestly, the worst feeling about all of it is there's not really a good alternative. Like, I have tried to search for games that play like Crash Bandicoot, and I found not much. Basically, there's Super Mario 3D World and Land, which I've already long since finished. And there's not Crash Bandicoot, Donald Duck Goin' Quackers apparently plays pretty similarly. And that's just about it. Well, I hope that doesn't count as dying before the death route, because I tried to jump to the death route and fell in the water. Wow, it did. It did count as dying. Well, that's sad. Okay, I will see you back at the death route, I guess. Okay, we're actually a little bit before the death route because I want to comment on something. So we're invincible right now, right? We got the third mask and everything. And now we're not. Yeah, they nerfed the invincibility in Crash 4. And it's kind of sad. It doesn't last long enough to be all that useful. I mean, they nerfed it even further in Crash 5, i.e. Twin Sanity, when you can still die to instant death hazards like nitros when you're invincible, and some enemies don't even get defeated by it. That was even more pathetic. But anyway, we're on the death route now, and there are a lot of nitros. Kinda wonder why we're not getting different music, though. Does this game not have different music for these? Also, I'm pretty sure that in Crash 2 and 3, as long as you got to the death route and it spawned on screen, then you could still keep doing it. You didn't actually have to be on the death route platform. So I guess they changed that. Anyway, we got the blue gem. Now we just have to get the heck out of here, and our chances of that are looking increasingly slim. Can I slide jump that? Don't know what I hit there, but that didn't work. That is an awkward angle. And I blew myself up. And my lack of getting the checkpoints actually got in the way of things. Well, that's sad. Okay, I guess we're just doing the stage all over again. I'm going for the normal exit. Have you had enough Arctic Antics yet? Okay, sheesh. What, I have to do this level 4 times? And yet it was still shorter than one level in New Crash 4. Funny how that works. Yeah, we could have finished out the death route, but I feel no particular need to, unless you guys really want to see it. It's pretty much just more, be careful where you jump lest you land on a nitro. So let's finally move on to level 2, Tornado Alley. Interesting bit of trivia about Tornado Alley. Apparently like 80% of the tornadoes in the world occur there. And almost all of the tornadoes in the world are in North America. But so, yeah, we're dealing with a flying level. This early in the game. And we have to shoot these things on top of the tornadoes. I guess one thing about having an airplane stage this early in the game is it means it's a heck of a lot easier than the nightmare that was, say, Mad Bombers level 24 in Crash 3. See, we're already a third of the way down. We also have 15 boxes to destroy, or to get. Yeah, halfway down and I'm only missing 1% health. So making level 2 an airplane stage was kind of an odd decision, but at least it's a pretty painless one. And now comes the time when we need to make sure not to hit the last one, because we want the boxes. In fact, I should have just been shooting the health balloons, even if I didn't need them, because I don't really expect to have any threat of dying in this one. Fate tempted, I know, but I mean, it's level 2. And we're almost done with it. And apparently the enemy airplanes die in one shot. 14 out of 15. Okay, where's the last one? Oh. 15 out of 15. I guess one of them got delayed and fall to the ground? But yeah, level beaten, got the crystal, got the gem. I could do the time trial now, but I still want to do all of those all at once, like I did with Crash 3. So yeah, that was 2 levels down, and I think I'll actually call it here. Seemed like last time the episodes were awfully long when I did 3 levels per one. So I think this time I'll just do 2 levels each time. So next up we'll be doing levels 3 and 4, and then in a bit we'll be finishing up with level 5 and the World 1 boss, or Warp Room 1 boss, whatever. So I'll see you next time.